work. Send me if you work. You see me do me dirt. Saw me put in work. When you walk out.
Hello ladies, and welcome back to another video. My name is Ivy and this channel is Boo Bougie. Over here we talk about thrifting, clearance, and free. Today is a little different. I won't be featuring anything. I won't be modeling anything. I'm coming to you with something that's very heavy on my heart. There was a mass shooting in Buffalo, New York. And as some of you may know, that's my hometown. Buffalo is nothing like Atlanta. Buffalo is a small knit community. Everybody knows everybody, and if they don't know you, somebody that they don't know you. Okay, so I've been making phone calls, checking on my loved ones. You know, I don't have any siblings here. All of my siblings are in Buffalo, New York. My stepmom, Helen. And so, and friends, long-term friends. I'm talking about grade school friends. And so, when I heard about the mass shooting, I just couldn't, in all good conscience, be parading and laughing and joking and all of that. So, yeah, I know this is a little different than what I usually do. But, the not knowing, because Top Supermarket is right in the heart of the Black community. And my sister, my baby sister, lives literally around the corner. And that's where she shops at. So when I heard that, I didn't know if my sister was one of the victims. So I immediately called her. She answered the phone. She was safe. My two nephews, Elijah and Malachi, my niece, Zanaya, they were all safe. And I thank God for that. And I proceeded to make phone calls to my siblings to make sure they were okay. You guys know I just got this iPhone maybe about a month ago, and a lot of numbers I don't have. So I reached out on Facebook, and a lot of them commented on my posts to let me know they were okay. So they haven't released the names of the victims as of yet. They did of the police officer. And so, yeah, I just wanted to jump on here and say, my heart and my prayers, my thoughts are with my family back in Buffalo. And when I say family, I mean my blood family and my family. Because sometimes friends are closer than family. And I have some friends that, even though we're not related by blood, we're just as close as cousins, as sisters, as aunties. It's still some I haven't heard from yet. And for the life of me, I don't know where my other phone is. So I just been reaching out on social media. So that is going to be this video today, ladies. I do have some news clips of the situation. They're listing it as a hate crime. The young man was 18, white young man. And they say he drove a couple hours, maybe 3 hours. He lived maybe 200 miles away. And I don't know what made him target this particular supermarket. But hate is not tolerated on any level. You know, I get on here, I laugh, I joke, but there are real world issues that are going on. And some people like to look at the jar half full, and some look at it as half empty. Now, even though I get on here and we kiki and we laugh and we do all of that, we have a good time, I'm aware of the world that I live in. That's why I serve the God of my understanding, to protect me. You know, and that doesn't mean that bad things are not going to happen in my life. It just means that I have Him to help me through it. Just like He helped me with my mom and continues to help me on any given day. So I like to say to everyone who was touched by this shooting, you know, you hear about things fire off, different cities, but when it hits so close to home, you know, I just want to let y'all know I love y'all. My prayers are with y'all. I don't know who the families of the victims are. I don't know who the victims are as of yet, but I will be continuing to watch the news and to see what the victims' names are. So I didn't put any lip gloss on. I just threw this shirt on. I've been in my pajamas all day. And I'm thankful. I'm grateful. I'm relieved. I'm not angry because God said vengeance is mine. So my husband asked me this morning what I was crying for. And I was got some phone calls this morning, and I was on Facebook and I was checking the responses, and so I was just elated. You know, ladies, one thing for certain and two things for sure, none of us are getting out of here alive. Nobody. But to leave in such a tragic, senseless way, that's the part that's getting me right now. There was also another mass shooting, I believe, in Milwaukee yesterday. We got to pray for this world. You know, I love everybody. I do. I may not like some of the things that some people do, but I love everybody because I'm commissioned by God. He said, with love and kindness have I drawn thee. So I'm praying for this young man as well as the victims and the victim's family. I have my candles burning. Yeah, that's gonna be this video. I'm at a loss for words because I'm just waiting and trying to see who the victims are. You know, I'm trying not to be fearful that it's somebody that I know. It's still hard, even not knowing the people, not knowing who was actually killed. It was 10 people killed and 3 people injured. So, yeah, I'm going to take a break from what I usually do. Because I have to take this moment to give back, to let whoever watch my channel be made aware. Ooh. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Continue to watch because I'm showing news clips of the shooting. It was the mayor, the governor, the president, different people covering this story, different news outlets covering this story. So if your family had a family member of those 10 people who were shot and killed, like just shot down like they were nothing, like they were expendable. I'm gonna go to the news clip because I just don't have anything else to say. I love you all. Thank you for watching.
Yet another mass shooting in this country, which authorities say may have been fueled by hate. A gunman opening fire at a supermarket in Buffalo, New York, killing 10 people.
Police say the 18-year-old suspect live streamed the carnage on a helmet camera for at least 2 minutes as he mowed down shoppers and employees, all while wearing body armor.
President Biden denouncing any acts of domestic terrorism and saying hearts all across this country are with the people of Buffalo this morning. We have team coverage beginning with Stephanie Ramos in Buffalo. Stephanie, good morning to you.
Hi there, Whit. You can see there is yellow tape behind me surrounding that parking lot, surrounding the grocery store, where authorities say the gunman arrived here heavily armed and wearing tactical gear, taking the lives of 10 people who were just going about their day at the supermarket. Police say the gunman was motivated by hate.
This morning, a community in shock in Buffalo, New York. 10 people shot dead and 3 more injured after a gunman opened fire at a Tops-friendly supermarket in a predominantly black neighborhood.
This is the worst nightmare that any community can face.
The suspect, identified as 18-year-old Payton Gendron, has been arraigned on 1 count of first-degree murder and held without bail. Authorities say he drove there from 200 miles away and live-streamed the attack that is now being investigated as a hate crime.
This was pure evil. It was straight-up racially motivated hate crime from somebody outside of our community.
Police say around 2:30 Saturday afternoon, the suspect wearing body armor and a tactical helmet first fired at 4 people in the parking lot, killing 3.
We're going to need some officers inside the Tops because we have numerous bodies.
The shooter then entered the grocery store, shooting 9 others, including a retired Buffalo police officer who confronted him. The guard fired multiple shots that hit the suspect, but that didn't stop him. He was wearing protective tactical gear. The heavily armed gunman fatally shooting the guard moments later. Police arriving at the chaotic scene, taking the alleged shooter into custody.
There were people showing up, asking about their loved one.
Among the victims, 4 of them store employees.
My granddaughter works there. She heard the shooting, so she took herself and ran in the bathroom and locked the door.
I frequent this store all the time. I've never been afraid to be here. I am now. I am now. This is something that I watch on the news that happens in other places.
A witness describes the motionless bodies on the ground.
I saw the police cover her, and then they cover somebody that was behind her. And I realized at the time that those were dead bodies.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul calling attention to reports the suspect had a camera and was live streaming the shooting, condemning social media platforms that she said were not censoring hateful and violent content.
I'm asking them to take responsibility for monitoring the hate speech and the calculated plans that are right there in plain view. Help work with us with your responsibility as the individuals who profit from these platforms.
The NAACP making a statement saying hate and racism have no place in America.
This investigation, of course, is still ongoing, and Gendron could still face more charges. If convicted, he could face life in prison without parole. Eva.
Stephanie Ramos for us there in Buffalo.
Investigators say around 2:30 p.m., a gunman first opened fire outside of the grocery store.
He exited his vehicle. He was very heavily armed. He had tactical gear. He had a tactical helmet on. He had a camera that he was live streaming what he was doing.
He shot 4 people in the parking lot, 3 of them fatally. 1 survived. He then moved into the building, engaged people, and was confronted by a security guard.
A hero in our eyes, engaged the suspect, fired multiple shots, struck the suspect, but because he had heavily armored plating on, that bullet had no round. The suspect engaged our retired officer, and he was ultimately shot and deceased at the scene.
By the end of his rampage, 13 people were shot, 10 were dead.
It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's hard to even muster. It's unbelievable.
I never thought in my lifetime, at my age, that I would live to see something like this in my community.
Victims, 2 were white, the other 11
will not stop until justice is brought to this community, those families.
I'm Kevin Rincon in Buffalo, here behind me at the Top supermarket, where 10 people were killed by a self-proclaimed racist and white supremacist. A day after this city's worst mass shooting ever, the community has come out to start the healing process.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
Billy is a gardener down the street from Tops. He came here to drop off some flowers that are part of a makeshift memorial. He says it's time we do more to fight against racism.
How do you enjoy hatred? How do you enjoy that?
The 18-year-old suspect, Payton Gendron, came to this supermarket armed and wearing tactical gear. He turned what was a quiet Saturday afternoon into a nightmare for so many.
I was in aisle 14 putting up tags for our next week's sale. And that's when I heard the shots being fired inside the store. I grabbed my produce manager, my night ops manager, and like 4 or 5 customers and told them to get in the conference room, and I barricaded the door.
Police say the suspect is from a small town more than 3 hours from here. The mayor says his intention was to kill as many black lives as possible, and that part has the community on edge.
Black lives matter, and my life matters. Do y'all know that?
Dozens came out for a vigil turned rally as people struggled with a wide range of emotions, from sadness to anger and downright frustration.
I'm not coming down.
Governor Hochul, she spoke at a memorial not far from here.
This isn't a league of its own. This is a whole new dimension where you've attacked people because of the color of the skin, because you are a coward. And I want to silence those voices now.
The suspect in this case was already charged with first-degree murder. If convicted, he faces the possibility of life behind bars without parole. He'll be back in court on Thursday. In Buffalo, Kevin Rincon, CBS 2 News.
Asked for peace amid the horror, a plea echoed by Buffalo's council president during a post-news conference prayer.
Pray for peace. Pray for unity. But most of all, God, we pray that justice be done.
As so many now say a prayer for this city in mourning. In Buffalo, I'm Michael Wooten reporting.
About this man here, Grady Lewis, you were in that Tops earlier this afternoon. We're going to get to that story, but you told me just a few moments ago that you actually spoke with the suspect yesterday. He was here. Tell me more about that.
I seen him, and
he looked strange in the neighborhood. Anybody had a genius shirt on. So I wanted to see if he was a genius. And we sat and talked about string theory, critical race theory, beginning of civilization, and he seemed like he was a genius, actually. He said he came up just to see the countryside, and he was going to go out camping. He bought a big thing, a jug of water. He had a little nervous twitch to him. I bought him something to drink, and we sat and talked for about an hour and 45 minutes after seeing the pictures and seeing the blue car that I seen him got into yesterday. So it's a shock right now, and he told me his name was Payton. So it's a shock.
And we did see a blue car get taken away from this scene just about a half hour or so ago. And you were saying that you were speaking with him on a bench that's located outside of this Tops.
Yes.
That's the bench that earlier today, when I first got here, you were the first person I spoke to. You were telling me that bench is your office.
Yes.
And you usually like to stop and sit there and talk to people that are passing by. Today you didn't stop.
Yes.
So walk me through your afternoon here at the Tops.
Well, I went in there and got me some a juice. And I didn't want to sit there today, so I walked across the street and I opened up my juice. And as I opened up my juice, I heard what I knew wasn't a firecracker. And I looked up and I seen a guy shooting people. Then I seen a security guard run inside, and then I seen him going after him, shooting. Then I saw him come back out, and he had all camouflage on, and glasses and helmet, and then he put the gun to his head, and he dropped it. He took off his gloves, he took off his gun, he put it down, he took off his vest, and then he got on his knees and laid down and put his hands behind his back, and they arrested him at that point.
And the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, you were telling me about the security guard, the former Buffalo police officer who has tragically died in this incident. You were telling me today he told you no lingering around the store. We gotta keep it clear.
Yes.
You credited that man with saving your life.
Yes, I heard him say to someone, "There's no lingering around the store." So me knowing that he was a Buffalo police officer, I never really wanted to give him an opportunity to say anything to me. So when I do go, I shop and I leave, and that's the reason why I left. Because I heard him tell people that a couple times. So you don't ever got to tell me something 4 or 5 times for me to understand. And from what I heard, he went back and he shot at him when he went in the store. So yeah, but if he wasn't there, I would have been sitting there. So I'm definitely thankful that I heard him say that. Yes, I'm definitely thankful to Mr. Salters. Yes, definitely.
Well, Mr. Lewis, thank you so much for joining me here tonight and for telling me your story earlier today. I appreciate it. This entire community here is mourning this tragic loss. There's a memorial set up down Landon Street here. A truly challenging, difficult, sad, heartbreaking day here in the city of Buffalo. For now, live on Jefferson and Landon, Tara Lynch, News 4.
This is Chanel Harris, and you're an operation manager at Tops. Can you tell me what you experienced?
Well, I experienced today when I was in the store. I was working, and
what were you doing?
Putting up groceries, and heard a noise. Then it got louder and closer, and everybody started running towards the back. I got stumbled a few times before I was able to get out, and by the time I got out, I ran around the front of the building, experienced someone getting shot, and I ran back because I was looking for my daughter. Found my daughter, but we both okay.
Okay, so your daughter, what does she do there?
She's she worked as a grocery clerk.
Okay, as a grocery. Did you see the shooter?
I seen him.
What did he look like?
He had army fatigue stuff on, and he was dressed like he was dressed for army.
So, tall, white male.
White male.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he was in like army fatigues. I heard helmet. I heard.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. And what kind of like a rifle?
Rifle. I seen all that, and I ran back after this.
Yeah.
So he still was shooting.
So you were trying to find your daughter during this. And how many shots do you think were fired during this?
Over 70.
Oh my God.
It was a lot.
Repetitive.
And so how did you escape?
through the back door.
Okay. And you said you fell a couple times trying to get
I
out.
got stumbled a couple of times.
And there were, how full was the store?
It was full. It was full this weekend. It was full. Today was packed. So
And you said someone was shot in front of you?
I witnessed one of us. Yes.
I'm so glad your brother's here for you. And
Me too.
yeah,
Surprised me. I didn't even know he was here.
I know that I've lost 3 people that were close to me. I also know that 2 others were shot. I lost 3 people today that I know and talk to 5-6 times a week.
Good Sunday morning. Well, it's happened again. A horror all too familiar in the United States. This time, the scene of what appears to have been an act of domestic terrorism was a supermarket in Buffalo, New York. A white teenager, a boy really, only 18, wearing body armor and carrying an assault rifle, opened fire at a supermarket in an African-American neighborhood. 10 people were killed, 9 of them black, and 3 others were wounded, 2 of them black. Shortly after the gunman was captured, a racist manifesto he apparently posted emerged online, filled with racist and anti-Semitic views, including the theory that whites are being replaced by people of color. Authorities say the gunman, who drove some 200 miles to carry out the slaughter, also live-streamed the massacre with a camera apparently on his helmet. It was the latest in recent mass shootings aimed at ethnic groups. Charleston, South Carolina, African Americans in church. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Jewish victims in a synagogue. El Paso, Texas, Latino victims at a Walmart. And now we add Buffalo, New York to the list. We've also, of course, seen a rise of hate crimes against Asian Americans as well.
Right before that started, I felt a pain in my neck, which is usually my stress point. I didn't understand why I suddenly was stressed. I had no clue, so I turned to tell my daughter that something's wrong. Wasn't sure what it was. And before I could open my mouth to tell her anything, we heard gunshots. Everyone in the front end stopped moving. We all looked towards the front door. We saw the security guard backing up, reaching for his weapon. And we ran. I grabbed my daughter. She pulled away from me. I thought she was behind me, but she was in the front end the whole time. She was crouched down. He didn't see her, but she saw 2 people get shot. One who was alive, one who perished. You could hear where the gunshots were, how close they were coming, and it wasn't all the way to me yet. I don't know what made me get up. I just kept saying, you gotta get up, you gotta get up. I literally jumped up, everything fell off. I had keys on my elbow. They literally came off my wrist, hit the freezers. My shoes were off, and I just kept running.
At this point, where is your daughter?
She's in the front.
Still in the front?
Still in the front, crouched at register 6, because I never looked behind me until I got all the way to the back. I turned around, she wasn't there. And I said, where's my baby? Has anyone seen my baby? Where is she? I didn't know where she was. And then I just thought, if she's gone, I gotta get out of here. She's got babies. She's a newborn. And she has a 3-year-old, so I still had to get out. If I went back for her and she was gone, I would be gone too. And then I have nobody. So I still ran. And ran out the back.
She was at register 6 the entire time, crouched down. So did the gunman ever make it inside? I know that he made it
He
inside.
walked past her. Because at register 6, there's a space in between Easy Scan and the register that you can see through. And she felt him walk past her. She heard him, because there are people who died at Easy Scan. One person was killed where she would have been standing, where we were standing. The assistant manager was killed where I was standing. And the other person she saw shot and killed was where she was standing when this all started.